So Justin, can you share that lighting plot and kind of what that final image looked like, and kind of walk us through, start with the camera package, lens package, kind of what talk us through some of the technical side of things and what we ended up trying to pull off there.
But yeah, so camera and lens package was a mini LF with Cook speed pancros. I'm a big fan of the Cook look, and I felt like that would have really
Which
was
we
like,
got those overnighted from Denver the night before the shoot, if you remember that.
yeah, that was insane.
How
We
much
almost
did I
were
pay for
like,
that, Aaron? What was the cost of getting those on a plane? We had like
They didn't charge us to get them on a plane. They just were like, we need to know right now if you need these Cook lenses. You got 30 minutes to make the decision.
I thought
And
we
we
had
were
to pay
so
for it.
over budget. We were so over budget. I'm like, Justin, you don't need this. Ah!
that was also in the middle of the hurricane too. I had no power. I
Yeah,
had no
well,
internet. I had no
you
Wi-Fi.
had no idea what Andrew and I were dealing with that day. So to
Yeah.
be like, to over Justin be like, can we get the Cooks? I'm like, yeah. But it worked out, and I'm actually really glad we did it. And you know what? It was Andrew who had your back on that decision. Because
Yeah,
I'm like, we'll be fine with the cheaper ones. And he's like, nah,
yeah,
this is what we hired Justin for. Let's do it.
yeah.
So
I was really surprised when I got that. That's like probably the best news you can get in a hurricane. You're gonna get Cook lenses.
Cooks are coming.
Yeah. Yeah, so we shot on the Cooks, had the speed paint rows. I don't know how you want me to get like nitty gritty with like
Talk
technical
us through just the
specs.
lighting
Like,
setup we're seeing here. You've got this
okay,
lighting plot
okay,
that you
cool.
worked through. Like, what was the ultimate goal here? And then we can look at that final image and kind of how that played out.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, basically, we were playing with the sun. So like with like day exteriors, I always try to keep the sun at their back as much as possible, like backlight them. You can control it a lot better. Yeah, actually, so originally I plotted to have like a large 4K source, but since we had our sun, I didn't do it. It was basically controlling it and softening what was there because we shot at the perfect time of day, thankfully, but we were kind of like chasing the sun, so it was just controlling it with this quarter grid, and things like shifted a lot on that day. We were kind of like basically moving, following the sun. Um, so yeah, it was big 12 by 12, basically softening up what was here. These were our two guys were. Um, and basically just trying to take away light that was bouncing off of the dugout because we had um,
Mhm.
all these seats, we had all this stuff in the background. And I was really trying to expose, which you'll see in the final image for the background, because we have this beautiful these lines that were like basically like cutting right through the two players' head. We had Home of the Aggies in the background. I thought that would have been cool to basically keep in the background. So yeah, this is like the most simple setup I feel like out of all of them, but basically it was like two large soft uh basically silks. That was really it. And then neg. So
All right, Justin, can we actually look at that image? What we came out of that shot with? And again, this is Jace
yeah.
Lavalette and Hayden Schott. They both play baseball for Texas A&M. Hayden had actually just gotten his eligibility cleared to come back for another year with the team.
Yeah.
And Jace is a guy that is projected anywhere, from number one to the top five in the MLB draft this year. So that was a pretty big win for us to get these dudes who are not only beloved, but are really, really good ball players to be in the shot.
Yeah, to start off we have on camera right, we have this solid that's taking away light. That was what we were kind of planning for. And that was just to basically give shadow towards camera because I like to shoot with a far side key, basically shooting into the shadow at all times, kind of like create some depth and like three dimensionality, if that's a word. That out. Anyway, so yeah, basically our big soft sources are right off camera right here, kind of basically softening up what we had. And then in the back we have another one, basically kind of um softening up the seats in the background. And that was really it. This is like basically really, really simple. And I'm looking at the behind the scenes photos, and we actually did have like a bounce just right under camera as well, or a silver surfer as we call it. Um, and I can clean this up as well. I'm kind of like just scribbling
No,
on
this
the
is perfect.
iPad.
I want your scribbles. I want to kind of show what it looks like just from your perspective. But one of the things that really lined up well with this shot specifically is that one of the 6 core values from Texas A&M is the value of loyalty. And so the behind the scenes, or the inside baseball of this one, if you will, is that the coach from the team had been with the A&M baseball team as they went to the College World Series. As they made it to the final round, they went 1-1 against Tennessee, and there was, as they call it, the rubber match game, where whoever won ended up winning the national title. A&M just didn't play as well in that final game, and leading into that final game, the coach had been asked from one of the reporters here covering at Texags, was he going to stay? There was sort of this blow up moment, and people were thinking A&M kind of overreacted, but there was all this smoke about the coach leaving. He actually ended up leaving just after they lost the College World Series against Tennessee. And there was all this hubbub about all that going on about a month before we shot this piece. They ended up hiring a coach that had been on the team as an assistant that same year. And these guys, Jason Hayden, were 2 guys that stepped up and said, we're coming back to play another season at Texas A&M University. And the fact that they did that lined up just beautifully. The client, Texas A&M, really pushed to have loyalty be the line that they were featured on. And when the ad went out, when everything played, the college sports media world definitely caught on to that line. There's some different articles on different services that are out there. Did Texas A&M plan this? Was this something that had been anticipated? Did they know what they were doing? Of course we knew what we were doing, guys. Like, this was obviously a planned moment. It just worked out really, really well timing-wise to kind of put it all together for us there. So.